Hello. I wanted to make a quick video about all of the stuff. I know a lot of it is being perpetuated by the media, and a lot of issues probably wouldn't be as big of a deal if the media didn't get involved. But I think that right now is a good time to kind of look at some of the issues that have brought this country and people into such a realm of hate and intolerance. And I'm just going to share my perspective because I would like feedback on how I can be better also. I'm going to say that I am primarily from a small town in Arizona that was 99.9% white, and until the Hispanic community started coming in probably when I was in my mid-20s. And I saw a lot of hate when people, anybody that was not white would move in, let's say, because I am not even sure what the best word for me to use is, to be honest, and I would like some feedback on that also. So when I moved to Phoenix, one of the reasons why I moved was because I wanted to expand who I was, and I felt like I was in a box in that small town, and I saw a lot of racism and intolerance and hate, and I grew up with parents that had racist parents. So I saw how the behavior was learned, and then I witnessed my parents begin to unlearn it. And not just because of their religion and because of the Bible tells us that we're all equal and you should love one another as yourself, but they would notice when they were affected by other people in, like, because where you live has a huge influence on how you see the world. And when I moved to Phoenix, is around the same time my parents started kind of noticing little comments they'd say and stuff like that and catching themselves, and they started learning like Mandarin and going into communities intentionally so that they could blend and get to know and understand and look for commonality as opposed to focusing on stereotypes or racial type projections that we put on people. And I wanted to do the same thing. And I would bring my son here and I would take him to every cultural type of event I could to expose him to other things and look at the beauty in the differences and also appreciate the commonality that we all share. And people in small towns tend to be, I have a really hard time with them talking about racial issues when they don't even live near anybody that's any different than who they are. And when you work side by side, and I take the bus, and yesterday I was sitting on the bus, and more than usual, there were black women that sat across from me, and they just stared at me more than usual. Like usually like everybody's on the bus, we're all pretty much accept that we're in the same financial situation or whatever, and but it was different yesterday, and it kind of shook me because I've been in circumstances before where I witnessed how white people treated people that aren't white, and I could see, they almost are on high alert right now watching me, and it broke my heart, and I don't even know how to have this conversation or dialogue without somebody taking it wrong. Because when I work and I spend my time with people that on the outside look different than me, I really just relate to people. I find a way to relate to them and connect with them that way. And that's what I do first. And then the rest of the stuff, like, I don't know, it kind of loses its meaning a little bit. And I don't know if it's an INFJ thing, because I've read that that's one of the personality types that kind of just sees the equality in everything. And it's not that I'm blind to the external differences and how that could affect how this person sees the world and how the world sees them. But I want to see who they are as individuals and then learn about their experience and how it shapes their world. And it breaks my heart when I sit down on a bus and somebody gets up and I can tell it's more because they don't trust me than anything else. And they don't know me. But it doesn't matter because they know what their experience has been. And I just wanted to share that because I have a hard time listening to people that grew up in white communities talk at all about or have any kind of real opinion on what it's like to be somebody that's not in a white person, that's not in a white community, that did not grow up that way. Because I know that I still have white privilege to some degree, even though I'm in a low income with no vehicle. And I still know I have advantages that other people don't. And I think that it's ignorant and it's fear-based to not acknowledge that. And it's just cruel. And it perpetuates hate and misguided ideas about who people are instead of actually spending time with different people that are not in your circle and understanding them. I think if you shelter yourself, you're doing it because you're afraid, but you might be wrong.